Welcome to Catalyst Energies. Thank you for joining me. I am so grateful that you're here. This is your daily Catalyst Astrology report for July 2nd, 2020. All right, let's get right into it. It is a fiery and hot chart today, my friends. We have our moon in Sagittarius all day. Our sun is in Cancer. Mercury is still retrograde in Cancer. They have now kind of flip-flopped, crossed each other's paths, and going over each other's old territory. So where the sun is now going, Mercury has already been there and will in fact come back through these degrees when Mercury does go direct on the 12th of July. Will Mercury will exit shadow on July 27th, I believe, which is actually the same day that Venus exits her shadow. So that's something to put under your hat for the time being, the 27th of July, which will be into the next lunar cycle. And I will say, when we get to Leo season, it is on, right? Once the sun moves into Leo, and then Mercury is in Leo, and then Venus comes into Cancer, it is, oh boy, talk about hot. So this is a nice precursor, and nice, I mean, not comfortable or nice at all, but certainly it's giving us a lot of indication of what's to come. Very fiery chart today. We have our moon in Sagittarius, trining Mars in Aries, Chiron in Aries, quincunx Uranus in Taurus is opposition. You can see here as of this chart right now, in opposition to Gemini, Venus in Gemini, opposition here. Will, by the end of tomorrow, the moon will conjunct the south node of our moon, meaning that she will be in opposition to the north, her own north node, and then quincunxing as well the Cancer energy with Mercury and the sun. So you can really see everything kind of situated on this side of the chart. And just like with the moon in Scorpio, and even just the moon transit through all of these areas here, the energy is really being directed over to this side of the chart and really pulling our individual emotional, personal focus into these areas that have a lot, especially Libra and onward, have a lot to do with the collective experience on our less about our personalized individual experience and more about that our connection to the collective and what that means. So what is Sagittarius? Sagittarius is the archer. Sagittarius is temperance in the tarot. Sagittarius is about belief, truth. It is the ruler of the ninth house, which is about higher education, foreign travel. It is really an expansive awareness that leads to our understanding. And so you can see how things like religion and philosophy and mastery and wisdom come into the Sagittarian archetype, because it's really about understanding as a form of alchemy. And Sagittarius is mutable fire, the coal fire, which is the fire has burned down and is now at its hottest and the most sustainable in some ways. When you get down to the coal fire, this is where you cook the food when you have a campfire. And so this is also when it is hot enough to be an actual catalyst for alchemy or some sort of change. When we have the moon in Sagittarius, certainly there is a lot of strength and there's a lot of optimism, and there is a connection to our belief systems and an expansion into truth and looking up at the big picture, really, when we have a moon. But because we're looking at a fire sign with Sagittarius, and the moon is much more of a yin, feminine energy about the internalized experience, the subconscious, we're relating these belief systems and we're attaching them to our personal experience. So emotionally, we're going to really want to engage this our connection to truth and belief. Now, just to keep in mind, this is where our moon south node is, Sagittarius. This is our karmic history. This is the old paradigm. This is energy that has been mastered. When we look at the natal chart, if you want to look at past lives and the karmic destiny of the individual, you look at the moon's nodes. And so with the moon about to conjunct, especially by the end of tomorrow, with her own south node. There is a representation in some ways, there is within us, of these belief systems and this quest for truth and of a sense of understanding. And so with the moon also in opposition to Venus, now direct in Gemini, this kind of like fiery devotion in some ways to belief systems and dogma and understanding and the big picture is in opposition to Venus, which is still, you know, she's really still very curious. She is all about taking in the information. She is, you know, Gemini has two faces, and it's not an easy archetype to interact with. And so big up to the Geminis, right? Because they usually end up being like, you know, the scapegoat of the zodiac, because they often are able to, you know, oscillate between many different, between the oppositions, but also it's multifaceted because there is a consistent inquiry and curiosity. There can be some flakiness, but with Venus, it's really all about what feels good, what harmonizes, and what we value. And she is definitely taking us back through Gemini and showing us, you know, what is it about this process that we really value. But emotionally, we're already at a point, we're at a point emotionally where we want to identify with the belief systems and the understanding. And this is a real challenge to, obviously. So again, with the opposition, you want to find the fulcrum, you want to find this balance point so you're not getting pulled in one direction or the other. So finding this balance between Cupid, right? This is where 7 degrees of Sagittarius is Cupid. And what happens when you get shot with Cupid's arrow? It is an intense experience. It is like a love potion. You are kind of, it's such an intense yearning that and it's very personalized as well, which is very interesting for the Sagittarian energy, because it is really about the collective experience once we get to Libra and onward in the chart. So, but in this first decan here, it's interesting that the emotional experience is this yearning and being shot by the arrow, right? That we have almost no control over ourselves, and we're overcome with this like really passionate, this passionate need to engage with this love and romanticism, even at the expense, which I think is very interesting, even at the expense of being accepted by the collective, right? It is, that's the love potion, right? You will do anything, you know, you are blinded by everything else. And so this degree that Venus is at in Gemini is the bucket and the well, and it's trusting the primordial nature, the primordial foundations of nature to take care. And so the well is fills with water based on natural processes. And this again is where Venus is. She's showing us what we value, and so it'll be very easy to get, you know, sucked into this or to that, right? To like completely not engage with our yearning and a passion in some ways, and a fire, a very, very powerful fire that is really building in us with this moon transit right now. Trining to Mars, trining to Chiron and Aries. So this is a very foundational, very balanced, you know, the trine is the base of the pyramid, the base of the triangle, which everything is built upon. And so when there's a trine, it's very balanced. You don't have to really engage with it. They are supporting each other entirely. So Mars in early Aries, you know, this is about potential energy, and this is Mars' home territory. So he is just courageously and ambitiously just moving forward to direct and focus this cardinal fire, this this action-oriented creation, and it is with Aries, potential energy. We're still talking about the seed point with Aries. And so the degree that they're trined is very interesting, because 3 degrees, this happened many hours ago, overnight. The degree here that Sagittarius, the moon, would be at in trine to Mars is 2 men playing chess. It's the ritualized it's the ritualization of conflict, right? Because in a game of chess, you have these two people that are, essentially playing out a game where you're dominating one side, or one side is attempting to dominate the other through these strategic moves. And remember, this is where Pallas Athena is as well. She is conjunct with um, Pluto and Jupiter. Can't forget that. And now Saturn has moved into Capricorn. So there's a couple like news things that really seem, especially that seems to, sorry, I get ahead of myself with my words. I can't wait till telepathy is like a thing. There's a couple things in the news that seem to really relate to these transits in particular. So one of them, especially here, the moon trining Mars in Aries, that is really now on a mission to materialize and to actualize this potential. And at 3 degrees Aries, it is kind of identifying yourself with the cause that you are moving forward with. And then you have the moon that is ritualizing that conflict in this symbol of a game of chess. Now, the moon is then going to come very soon and also trine with Chiron and Aries. And we've talked so much about this, about Chiron and Aries and the symbolism, the images that are, that we can apply as symbols to something, more. It's not just the images that evoke, a certain reaction or response from us, but is a teacher giving new meaning to these symbols. And so if we're able to see everything that is happening as a symbol for this collective wounding of self, which is really playing itself out in so many different political and social arenas right now, that if you get caught in it, right, then you're not going to see the symbolism for what it is. You're just going to continue to play out these, the wounded healer. And 10 degrees of all these signs is moving into the next decade. So 10 degrees of Sagittarius is a very theatrical kind of presentation of opportunity, and it's almost forced, right? It's forced growth. It's presenting this opportunity, and it is very theatrical. And again, it's trine here with Chiron, and so in some ways it will either kind of feed into this fervor of the belief systems and the dogma and and presentations of what the opportunity really is for growth. But it's very theatrical. It's not really rooted in anything actually happening. It's very much symbolic. In trine to Chiron in Aries, when we're talking about symbolism again, so we can really engage with that as a growth opportunity, or we can use that as a way to force other people into growth by participating in the theatrics, right? That's definitely really how you look at it and how you're engaging with these energies. But it's a lot of fire, right? And it's a lot of fire and not a lot of air left, except for Venus and the North Node. Here's all of our Earth energy now. We have Neptune still retrograde in Pisces. Uranus is quincunx as well at the same degree. So not only trine, but quincunx at Uranus. And so that's a moment of adjustment. There are no theatrics of opportunity when you're talking about the Red Cross and when the Red Cross comes in, because that's the degree of 10 degrees Taurus, the Red Cross nurse. This is real. It's very real. And it's a compassionate linking of all humanity based, flesh and blood. The Red Cross comes in and provides care and service no matter what your identity is. And this is the path of our awakening right now. And it has been very difficult and has been a real challenge to people. And you're going to see this even more when these quincunxes to not only Uranus, but also to the Cancer energy of Mercury and the Sun, because they are providing this personalized experience with who we are, how we identify ourselves, and the realm of the mind and information in the Cancer energy, where we're each personally rooted. Where is our personal core in life? So when we're more focused on the understanding and the belief systems and the dogma attached to it with the moon in Sagittarius, again, there's going to be a need for an adjustment as it comes along and has this quincunx with the Cancer energy as well, because this is about imparting the wisdom. Sagittarius is the archer, so it's shooting the arrow, right? There is like some sort of movement involved, and it's using the understanding to actually create something, right? That's what the Capricorn energy represents, is a cardinal earth, like actual material manifestation, you know, the laws of nature in action as well, which are very dense, right? Material form is dense, and it is the law of the 3D universe. It's the laws of Newtonian physics. And so there's not really much you can do about that, but the understanding of how all of this work allows that creation to manifest when you get to this Capricorn. But there's a lot of opportunity for adjustment, and this moon in Sagittarius today and all day tomorrow, although she will be void, of course, most of tomorrow. She's going to move into Capricorn on the 4th, very early or very late on the 3rd, depending on where you are. So what we do with this energy today, how we find some sort of baseline with Aries, how we are able to make adjustments with the quincunx to Uranus and Cancer, right, the Sun and Mercury, is going to be, it's really going to determine how we engage with the moon, and when we cross not only the galactic center tomorrow, but then conjunct the south node, which means we'll be in direct opposition to her own, she'll be in direct opposition to her own north node. And at that point, that's going to be kind of, is our core, right? Or is the root to our core, is it strong? Has it been, you know, lovingly created? You know, have we taken the time to strengthen it? Have we taken the time to even almost entrain it to get us where we want to go, which is the core of ourselves? If we have done that, and we can take some time to like really make some adjustments today with this moon in Sag, when she gets to the galactic center, we're going to be able to face that head on without getting like pulled into this portal, this hole that we could fall into, because it's either a portal or it's a black hole. You know, either way, it's going to provide a wormhole of sorts. However, how we address it, especially when the moon passes in front of all of this stuff right after the full moon lunar eclipse, it's gonna determine quite a bit for us. So this is the daily astrology for today, July 2nd. Everything you need is in the description box below. Reach out if you're interested in a reading. Just email, find me on Facebook or Instagram and send me a message, and we'll get you on the schedule. Do natal chart readings, do intuitive readings. I'm doing the daily medicine intuitive readings. The transmissions are every morning on Facebook for Catalyst Energies. And I do starseed astrology readings as well. And so if that's something that you're interested in, that's something that I can provide as well. Soon I will be going back to doing distance energy work when after the 4th, I believe, is one-on-one sessions I'm going to put back on my personal docket after the 4th. So keep an eye out too for the 4th of July full moon lunar eclipse report. We're going to read the US natal chart as a solar return in relation to the full moon lunar eclipse. And I think that we're going to get a lot of insight about how the United States is going to be moving forward from this incredibly potent eclipse cycle that will be ending with the full moon lunar eclipse, and there will be a door closing at that point. Doesn't mean there won't be other ones opening, but we have to take the time and the steps to go through this process. So thank you very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next video.